Boxingego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. So basically, what up, fight world? It's your boy Ego and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button for the latest and greatest. Now, the link is in the description, skysports.com. Shout out to them. They did a segment with Kell Brook for his upcoming fight, May 27th, Bramble Lane, Sheffield. He's fighting The Truth, Errol Spence Jr. And during that, they asked him about the Canelo versus Golovkin. Highly anticipated, September 16th, it goes down. And Kell Brook had some interesting things that I want to share. Obviously, he shared the ring with one of the two fighters that will be fighting in the main event, September 16th. And that's, hey, no, guys, Golovkin, right? We all know that. And Kell Brook says, and I quote, "I think Canelo is in his prime, but Golovkin is not in his prime anymore." He goes on to say, "I think he'll still be up there among the world's best, but with the fight against me and Daniel Jacobs, I think there's a blueprint that now they've got in their minds that Golovkin can be beaten. Triple G might be too strong and too much in his face. I could see a Golovkin knockout." So if he's picking, he's saying Canelo's getting knocked out, which Skip Bayless also said. Not that Skip Bayless really knows shit about boxing, but I want to know from you guys, what do you think will happen? Obviously, he has his own fight to worry about. He lost to Golovkin, and now he's fighting Errol Spence Jr., who shows a lot of promise, who's been receiving a lot of praise from the likes of Floyd Mayweather. Mayweather's picking Errol Spence to defeat Kell Brook. So I want to know from you guys what you think. The Golovkin-Canelo is a good fight. It's a meaningful fight. It's a fight that fans have been waiting for. We needed this fight to happen for boxing's sake, and 2017 has been a great year for boxing, getting these prime matches. And I want to know what you think about Kell Brook. There's a lot of people that are under this impression Golovkin, age 35, is not in his prime anymore. So I want to know from you guys, do you agree with that? Do you think Golovkin is better than he's ever been? Is he in his prime? And even out of his prime, Kell Brook is still thinking that Golovkin is going to be too on top of Canelo, pause, and he's going to be too much and stop him. Now, I got to analyze this. This is one thing I've noticed. Sometimes, just sometimes with fighters, if they have a win or a loss to that fighter, they tend to be, I guess you could say biased. I can't think of a better word to put, but they tend to be more partial to that fighter, right? I've seen Floyd Mayweather do it all the time, right? Floyd Mayweather also picking Canelo, a guy he shared the ring with. You know what I'm saying? So I noticed that. I don't know what it is, but I noticed sometimes when fighters have shared the ring, maybe it's a mutual respect or a respect level because they faced him, and maybe that sways their opinion because they haven't faced the other guy. But I noticed that, like Floyd Mayweather, he shared the ring with Robert Guerrero, and I think he said he had Guerrero beating Danny Garcia, or it was a draw or something. And when I watched that fight, I seen Danny Garcia clearly winning. You know what I mean? So I don't know if Floyd was being partial because he doesn't want to be upstaged by Danny Garcia at the time, or Danny Garcia had a better win, or this and that, you know what I'm saying, to make his win more emphatic. I don't know. But I've noticed that with fighters, it seems to be that if they beat that guy but shared the ring, or even if they lost to that guy, like Kell Brook's case, sometimes they seem to side with them in other future matchups when they haven't fought the other person. So I'm sure, I don't know. I think if Kell Brook would have fought Canelo, maybe he would have more of a even playing field because he shared the ring. Like you look at even like a Shane Mosley. Shane Mosley has sparred with Golovkin and in a professional fight fought against Canelo, so he knows both guys, right? And there's other people that have probably sparred the two of them. I think it might have been David Benavidez and just other people who have sparred with both of the guys. But I want to know what you guys think. Is Canelo getting knocked out? We haven't really seen Canelo in too much trouble where he was on Queer Street. He did get hurt by Miguel Cotto's brother, Jose Miguel Cotto, but that was years ago. He was 19. Obviously, you can't like train your chin. You're kind of born with the chin that you have. But since that point, we haven't really seen anybody rock Canelo where he looked like he was in bad shape. But we know Golovkin is very good with applying pressure. He's excellent with cutting off the ring. He has that piston jab that he used on all the power punches he fought that I remember, like David Lemieux and Danny Jacobs. Those are the fights that stick out the most. I want to know from you guys, Does Golovkin have what it takes to KO Canelo? Some people say, the other side of the fence would say probably, if he couldn't knock out Daniel Jacobs, a guy who's been knocked out, then what's the indication that he'll knock out Canelo? But you never know. Styles make fights. Danny Jacobs, he forfeited the IBF belt, didn't weigh in the day of, which was his choice. There's no foul play. That's another thing. A lot of you guys don't know shit about boxing, and they're saying Danny Jacobs cheated. That's not cheating. You don't have to fight and be eligible for anybody's belts. Canelo just said, I'm not fighting for this WBC commemorative belt. So if I beat Chavez Jr., which he did, he beat Chavez Jr.'s ass 12 rounds out of 12. You know what I mean? 12-0, he skunked him, right? He did not opt to have this belt that the WBC wanted to mandate and have for the winner of this fight. So Daniel Jacobs, again, some of you guys don't know shit about boxing. Daniel Jacobs didn't do anything. That's the IBF's rules to their champions and to the challengers fighting for their belt. It's perfectly within the rules to not have to fight for a belt, because if Danny Jacobs won, he still would have had all the other belts that Golovkin has, minus the WBO, which Billy Joe Saunders has, and the IBF, because he forfeited the same day weigh-in. And if it was so illegal, then why aren't the other sanctioning bodies, to my knowledge, doing it? The WBC doesn't do the same day mandatory rehydration weigh-in. The WBO doesn't do it. The IBO, to my knowledge, none of them really do it but the IBF. So that's their personal rules. I had to clear that up, because some people are saying Daniel Jacobs somehow cheated. They weighed in the same, or weighed in within the threshold of the contracted weight, and Daniel Jacobs opted, him and his team opted not to campaign or fight for that belt. You know what I'm saying? And that's just, I mean, that's what it is. That's like saying I cheated because I didn't want to go to cover a certain fight that I don't want to cover. You know what I'm saying? There's no cheating. You can pick and choose what you want to fight for, right? But nonetheless, some people will say Daniel Jacobs has been stopped and Canelo hasn't. So what's to say that Golovkin can stop him? And even in the Kell Brook fight, Brook was never sat on his butt. You know what I'm saying? He never got knocked down. He got stopped. His eye was clearly bad or whatever, but he never got knocked out like cold or sat down on the canvas. So I don't know. It's uphill battle. Like, well, not even uphill battle. It's a coin flip. I meant. You know what I mean? Canelo could get knocked out. Golovkin clearly has power. You know what I mean? There's TKOs. There's different types of way. But then at the same time, you look at the sharpness of Canelo. Like Kell Brook says, most people would say he's in his prime. He's gotten better since the Mayweather loss. Great upper body movement, better, tighter defense than Golovkin, more overall athleticism and rhythm to me. So I don't know. There's a chance that he might not get knocked out. But I will say this on the flip side of the coin before ending the video. I do think Canelo can hurt Golovkin. Can he stop Golovkin? I don't know. But I think he can hurt him. I don't think Golovkin is above that. With a lot of people, Golovkin included, they say, oh, I'm just blessed with good genes and genetics and I've never been hurt. I don't believe that. And I do believe in this game, that's actually a bad thing. If you're fighting elite level and big profile fights and stuff, and you've never ever been hurt, I don't see that as a benefit. You know what I mean? That's like, you look at people who, let's say they had an inheritance, right? And their parents were rich, so they were born into wealth. They were born into money, right? And let's say their parents pass away or something, so they get even more money, right? And they're doing well, and let's say the stocks crash 9/11 or something, and they lose a lot of money, and then they have to go from living a 5-star lifestyle to maybe a 3-star lifestyle. They don't have a yacht anymore. They had to sell it, things like that. Sometimes people like that, they end up killing themselves. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to use a harsh analogy. I'm just saying they don't know what to do. They're so used to having money that they don't know how to act when times get rough, like they do for most people, you know what I mean, who aren't rich. And if you're broke, if you've been broke before, you kind of know how to adjust and deal with it. If you've had that struggle and strife and those upsets and peaks and valleys in your life, you kind of know how to deal with it. You're like, oh, you know what I mean? I used to eat top ramen all through college because I was broke. You know what I mean? So you know how to get through those moments. So in relation to the Golovkin fight, I really feel like never being hurt is like almost being somebody who's never been broke or never had to worry about finances, right? And it's not necessarily a good thing, because when the time comes, if it does come, where you do have to worry about your finances, or you do have to worry about being hurt, how will you act? You know what I mean? So it could be a shocker to you if you end up getting hurt and you've never been hurt, because how are you going to act? Are you going to clinch? Are you going to just be like, what the fuck? Like, I'm hurt, really? You know what I mean? And you've never been hurt. Some people don't know how to act. Some people, like, let's say they get knocked down. They're like, what the hell? You know what I mean? Look at Shawn Porter's face when Broner knocked him down. Shawn Porter looked like flabbergasted. Like, what just happened? Clearly winning the last 11 rounds or whatnot. And then out of nowhere, you know what I mean? Even guys like Kell Brook, who looked a lot bigger than Broner, they didn't knock him down. And then he's getting knocked down by Broner. He's probably thinking like, what the hell? How did that just happen? But luckily it was the last round and whatnot. So just my 2 cents, my thoughts, just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. Can Golovkin knock out Saul Canelo Alvarez, vice versa? Drop your thoughts in the comment section and your fight predictions. Make sure you share the video, like the video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.